The fluorescent lights of the crew lounge hummed overhead as I scrolled through my phone, my third cup of coffee growing cold beside me. My fingers hesitated over the keyboard, exhaustion making them clumsy after 14 hours of forced smiles and turbulence. I just finished a double shift, Chicago to LA and back. My feet ached in my regulation heels, and all I wanted was to collapse into my bed. But first, I needed to deal with this text. Sarah had been pestering me all day through our crew chat. Just send him something flirty. You're overthinking it. He's cute. He likes you. What's the worst that could happen? The worst, I thought, was looking desperate to a stranger. I glanced at the number she'd forwarded me earlier, the guy from the coffee shop last week. The one with the nice smile who'd apparently been too shy to give me his number directly, so he'd given it to Sarah instead. I barely remembered him, just another face in the blur of my exhausting schedule. My thumb hovered over the send button as I reread the message I typed. Hey stranger, finally got your number. Can't stop thinking about our conversation. Want to continue it over dinner? God, it sounded desperate. But Sarah insisted this was how dating worked now. Bold, direct, confident. I hit send before I could second-guess myself. Then I set my phone down and pressed my palms against my tired eyes, willing away the headache that had taken up permanent residence after 12 years of pressurized cabins and recycled air. That's when my phone buzzed. Fast. Too fast. My heart did a little flip as I grabbed it, half expecting some cute response. Maybe this guy was online. Maybe this would actually work. Instead, 3 words appeared on my screen that made my blood run cold. Who is this? Not playful, not curious, cold, demanding. I stared at the screen, confusion turning to embarrassment. Wrong number, of course. Sarah probably gave me the digits wrong, or I'd saved it incorrectly in my exhausted haze. I quickly typed back. So sorry, wrong person. Please ignore that. Have a good night. There, crisis averted. I delete this number and make Sarah be me the right one tomorrow when I'm not brain dead from exhaustion. But the response came immediately. That's a very intimate message to send a stranger. My cheeks burned. God, how mortifying. This was exactly why I didn't date anymore. Again, really sorry. It was meant for someone else. Honest mistake. 3 dots appeared. Disappeared. Reappeared. Then, what's your name? I hesitated. Something about the directness of the question felt off. Not playful or flirtatious like you'd expect from someone receiving an accidental flirty text. Commanding. Cold. Does it matter? It was just a wrong number. It matters to me. Your name, now. The shift in tone made my fingers freeze over the keyboard. This wasn't some random person laughing off an awkward text. This was something else. Something that made the hair on the back of my neck stand up. I don't think so. Sorry again for the confusion. I started to delete the message thread, my finger hovering over the trash icon when my phone buzzed again. And again. And again. Emma Carter, 35 years old, flight attendant for United Airlines. Employee ID UA47829. My full name, my age, my employer, my employee number. The coffee cup slipped from my numb fingers, splashing cold liquid across the table. Currently on layover in O'Hare International Airport, Crew Lounge, Terminal 3, West Side. My location, down to the specific terminal. I looked up sharply, scanning the lounge. 3 other flight attendants scattered around, heads down, absorbed in their phones. The gate agent for my last flight sleeping in a recliner. No one watching me. No one who looked dangerous, but someone new. Someone was tracking me. Another buzz.
You sent me a very interesting message, Emma. Now I'm interested in you. My hands trembled as I typed. How do you know all that? Who are you? The response was almost immediate. Someone you should have been more careful about texting. Killed? The word sat on my screen like a threat. I told you it was a mistake. I was trying to text someone else. And who were you trying to text? A guy from a coffee shop. My friend gave me his number. His name? I don't know. We barely talked. That's why I was texting, to set up a date. Show me the number you meant to text. With shaking hands, I found the contact Sarah had sent me earlier and screenshotted it to this unknown number. 3 dots appeared for what felt like an eternity. Finally, interesting. You were off by 1 digit. The last number should be a 7. You sent it to a 9. See? Just a mistake. A stupid, embarrassing mistake. Can we please just forget this happened? That 1 digit belongs to me. And very few people have this number, Emma. 5 people, to be exact. So I need to know, was this truly an accident, or is someone using you to get to me?
I don't even know who you are, I typed back frantically. How could anyone use me to get to you? That's what I intend to find out. My flight. I had a flight leaving in 90 minutes, Tokyo bound, 14 hours in the air, halfway around the world from this nightmare. Look, I have to go. I have a flight to catch. I'm really, truly sorry for bothering you. I'll delete your number. We never speak again. Deal? What flight? Ice slid down my spine. That's none of your business. Emma, what flight? The way he repeated my name, like a command, made my fingers move before my brain could stop them. United 283 to Tokyo, leaves at 11:45 p.m., but I really need to go prepare. You're not getting on that plane. What? Excuse me? It's not safe. Not until I verify you are who you claim to be. I am who I claim to be. I'm just a flight attendant who sent a wrong text. This is insane. Then you won't mind proving it. In person. My heart hammered against my ribs. I'm not meeting some stranger who's been threatening me. I haven't threatened you, Emma. Yet. But if you get on that plane, if you try to run, that changes. You can't stop me from doing my job. Can't I? Before I could respond, my phone rang, not from the unknown number, from my supervisor. Emma, it's Patricia. I need you to come to the operations office now. What? Why? My flight leaves in an hour and a half. There's been a flag on your security clearance, probably just a system error, but we need to sort it out before you can board. Come immediately. The line went dead. I stared at my phone in disbelief. Then a text appeared from the unknown number. Operations office, 3rd floor, now, or this gets much worse for you. My hands were shaking so badly I could barely hold my phone as I made my way through the terminal. Other crew members passed me, laughing, normal, unaware that my life had just been turned upside down by 3 words. Who is this? The operations office was bustling, despite the late hour. Flight coordinators, supervisors, maintenance crews. Patricia met me at the door, her expression apologetic. Emma, I'm so sorry. The system flagged your clearance for some reason. It'll take about an hour to process the override. You'll have to be reassigned to tomorrow's Tokyo flight. An hour ago, my clearance was fine, I said, my voice tight. What changed in the last hour? Patricia shrugged helplessly. It's the system. You know how it is. Glitches all the time. But I knew. This wasn't a glitch. This was him. Whoever he was, he had enough power to manipulate airline security systems, to ground me with a few keystrokes. My phone buzzed. Good. Now we can talk properly. Terminal 3, Gate K7.
The bar. You have 15 minutes. I should have gone to airport security. Should have reported this stalker, this hacker, this whoever he was. But something stopped me. Maybe it was the cold efficiency of his messages. Maybe it was the way he'd shut down my flight with apparently no effort. Or maybe it was the terrifying certainty that if I went to security, I'd be putting myself in more danger, not less. I walked to gate K7 like a woman heading to her execution. The bar was dimly lit, half empty at this late hour. Business travelers nursing drinks, a couple of pilots in uniform at a corner table. And him. I knew it was him the moment I saw him. He sat alone at the bar, back to the wall, positioned where he could see everyone who entered. Dark suit that probably cost more than my monthly salary. Black hair swept back from a face that belonged on magazine covers, not in airport bars. And eyes. God, those eyes. Dark as midnight, tracking my approach with predatory focus. He didn't smile, didn't wave, just watched as I forced my feet to carry me towards him. "Emma Carter," he said as I stopped a few feet away, his voice a low rumble that somehow cut through the ambient noise. Italian accent, slight but unmistakable. "Sit down." "I'd rather stand." "I'd rather you sit. We're going to be here for a while." "I'm not staying long. You wanted to verify I'm real? Here I am, real. Now let me go." "Sit down." The command in his voice, the barely controlled danger in his posture, made me sink onto the bar stool beside him. He gestured to the bartender, who appeared instantly. "Whiskey for me. And for the lady?" "Nothing. I'm working." "Not anymore. You've been reassigned to tomorrow's Tokyo flight. Remember?" "Vodka tonic," he told the bartender, who nodded and disappeared. "How do you know what I drink?"
I know everything about you, Emma, or I'm learning. Your drink order from your last 3 layovers, your apartment in Lincoln Park, nice building, terrible security, your mother in Florida, your college friend Sarah, who gave you the wrong number, your spotless employment record, no criminal history, no connection to anyone in my world. The bartender set our drinks down. I didn't touch mine. "Who are you?" He took a sip of his whiskey, savoring it. "My name is Alessandro Moretti, and you, Emma Carter, just sent a very flirtatious text message to one of the most dangerous men in Chicago." Alessandro Moretti? The name meant nothing to me, but the way he said it, with such casual certainty of his own importance, made my stomach clench. I don't know anything about dangerous men or Chicago criminals or whatever world you think I'm part of. I'm a flight attendant. I serve drinks and smile at passengers and try to pay my rent. That's it. "I believe you." The admission surprised me. "Then why am I here? Why did you ground my flight and stalk me and—" "Because the number you accidentally texted is known to exactly 5 people. My attorney, my second in command, my sister, my mother, and a business associate in Milan. That's it. No one else has this number. It's not listed anywhere. It's not connected to any of my public business dealings." He turned to face me fully. "So when I receive a flirtatious text from an unknown woman, my first thought isn't wrong number. It's who sent her to get to me." "No one sent me. I told you, my friend Sarah gave me the wrong number." "I know. I've had your friend Sarah checked out. She's exactly what she appears to be. A well-meaning flight attendant trying to set up her single friend. The number she gave you was legitimately wrong." "Then what's the problem?" "The problem, Emma, is that in my world there are no coincidences. The problem is that someone might have switched that number deliberately, given you the wrong digit, knowing you'd text me. That's paranoid." "That's survival. I've stayed alive this long by being paranoid." He drained his whiskey and signaled for another. "So I need to determine if you're an innocent victim of a wrong number or if you're part of something larger." "And how exactly do you plan to determine that?" "By keeping you close, where I can watch you. Make sure no one is using you to get to me." My mouth dried. "You're not keeping me anywhere. I'm leaving."
I stood up. His hand shot out. Not grabbing me, just resting on the bar between me and escape. You don't understand the situation you're in, Emma. If I think you're a threat, you disappear. If I let you go and you are being used, my enemies will find you and extract every piece of information you have about me. And you have quite a bit now, don't you? My name, my face, the fact that I can manipulate airport security. The casual way he said, "You disappear," made my blood run cold. So what are you suggesting? You come with me. Stay under my protection for a few days while I verify that no one is using you as a pawn. If you check out clean, you go back to your life, richer for the inconvenience. And if I refuse? His dark eyes held mine. You won't. He was right. I could see it in his face. This wasn't a man who accepted refusal. I have a flight tomorrow, Tokyo. I can't just not show up. Already handled. You've been given a week of emergency leave. Paid. Family illness. I don't have any family. Except my mother, and she's fine. She is. I checked. But United doesn't know that. The scope of his control was terrifying. He'd manipulated my schedule, my clearance, my leave status, all in the span of an hour. 1 week, I said, my voice barely working. That's it. Then I go back to my life and we never speak again. If you check out clean, I have your word. He stood, dropping several bills on the bar, far more than the drinks cost. My car is waiting. Where are we going? Somewhere safe. Somewhere I can keep you away from anyone who might be looking for a way to get to me. I thought of the crime shows I'd watched, the true crime podcasts, the warning signs of trafficking, of abduction. But I also thought of the way he'd grounded my flight with apparently no effort. The way he'd learned my entire life story in an hour. If Alessandro Moretti wanted to hurt me, he didn't need my cooperation. I followed him out of the bar, through the terminal, drawing curious glances from passing travelers. He moved with the competence of someone who owned every space he entered. Outside, a black Mercedes waited at the curb, engine running. A driver stood beside it, stone-faced in a dark suit. This is Vincent, Alessandro said as the driver opened the rear door. He's been with me for 10 years. If anything happens to me, he'll ensure you get home safely. A strange sort of reassurance, but I appreciated it nonetheless. The interior of the Mercedes was all leather and luxury, smelling of expensive cologne and new car. Alessandro slid in beside me, the door closing with a solid thunk that sounded final. Vincent pulled away from the curb with smooth precision. Where are we going? I asked again as we merged into late-night traffic. My home. It has the highest security of any property I own. Your home in Chicago? 40 minutes outside the city. You'll be comfortable there. Comfortable? That's an interesting word for captive. You're not captive, Emma. You're protected. There's a difference. Is there? Yes. A captive is kept against their will with no concern for their well-being. You're being kept for your own safety, with every comfort provided. Kept is kept. Fair enough. But consider the alternative. If my enemies think you're connected to me, they won't ask politely whether you know anything. They'll assume you do and extract it by any means necessary. The way he said extract made me shudder. So I'm supposed to thank you for this? I'm not asking for thanks. I'm explaining reality. We rode in tense silence as the city lights gave way to suburbs, then to countryside. Trees lined the road, dark silhouettes against the night sky. Tell me about this wrong number, Alessandro said eventually. Every detail. How your friend got it, when, from whom. I explained about the coffee shop, about Sarah's matchmaking attempt, and about how the guy had apparently been too shy to give me his number directly. Which coffee shop? Does it matter? Everything matters. Details save lives, Amma. Or end them. Starbucks, the one in Terminal 2, last Tuesday morning. I was grabbing coffee before my Atlanta flight. Sarah was with me. And this guy approached Sarah, not you. Apparently. I didn't even notice him. Sarah pointed him out after, said he'd asked about me, seemed interested but nervous.
2015. Alessandro's jaw tightened. Describe him.
I barely saw him. Medium height, brown hair, glasses, maybe? I don't remember. Sarah's the one who talked to him. Vincent, Alessandro said, leaning forward. Get me everything on Sarah Miller. Every communication she's had in the last month. Every person she's been in contact with. You're investigating my best friend now? I'm investigating everyone in your life until I'm satisfied you're clean. The car turned onto a private drive, passing through a gate that opened automatically. What waited beyond made me forget my protest. A modern mansion sprawled across manicured grounds, all glass and stone and angles. Subtle landscape lighting illuminated the driveway. Security cameras were discreetly positioned at every corner. Welcome to my home, Alessandro said as Vincent opened my door. The night air was cool, carrying the scent of grass and expensive flowers whose names I didn't know. A woman waited at the entrance, middle-aged, elegant, in simple black clothing. This is Maria. She manages the house. Anything you need, ask her. Maria smiled warmly, a contrast to Alessandro's controlled intensity. Miss Carter, your room is ready. Please, follow me. I glanced back at Alessandro, suddenly reluctant to leave him despite everything. At least I understood the threat he represented. Go, he said, not unkindly. Get some rest. We'll talk more in the morning. Maria led me through rooms that belonged in architectural magazines. Soaring ceilings, modern art, furniture that probably cost more than my car. Here, she said, opening a door to a suite that was larger than my entire apartment. Bedroom, sitting area, bathroom with a soaking tub and rainfall shower, windows overlooking the lit grounds. And bars, I noticed, subtle, elegant, but unmistakably present on the windows. There are clothes in the closet that should fit you. If you need anything else, use the phone beside the bed. Extension 1 reaches me. Extension 2 reaches Mr. Moretti. Am I allowed to leave this room? Of course. The house is yours to explore, though I wouldn't recommend going outside alone at night. The security system is sensitive. Translation, don't try to escape. After Maria left, I explored my gilded cage. The closet held designer clothes in my exact size. How had he known? And the bathroom was stocked with expensive toiletries. Everything for my comfort, except my freedom. I collapsed on the bed, exhaustion finally catching up to me. My phone, which somehow still had full battery power despite being used constantly for hours, showed 2:47 a.m. In the span of 6 hours, I'd gone from sending a wrong text to being held captive by a man who could apparently manipulate airport security and knew everything about me. My phone buzzed. Unknown number, no. Alessandro, I knew it was him now. Sleep well, Emma. Tomorrow we begin determining whether you are as innocent as you claim. I wanted to throw the phone across the room. Instead, I found myself typing back. And if I am, then you go free, with my apologies and my gratitude for your cooperation. And if I'm not? The 3 dots appeared, then disappeared, then appeared again. Finally, then we'll have a very different conversation. I set the phone on the nightstand, my hands shaking. Sleep seemed impossible, but my body had other ideas. Within minutes, I drifted off into restless dreams of dark eyes and dangerous men. When I woke, sunlight streamed through the windows. I'd slept in my clothes, too exhausted to even change. My phone showed 9:23 a.m. and several missed texts from Sarah. Where are you? Emma, answer me. I'm getting worried. Call me back. And one from Alessandro. Breakfast is ready. Maria will bring you down when you're dressed. As if on cue, a soft knock came at my door. Maria entered, carrying a tray. Good morning, Miss Carter. Mr. Moretti thought you might prefer to eat first before joining him. The tray held fresh fruit, pastries, coffee that smelled like heaven. Where is he? In his office. He said to tell you he'll answer all your questions after you've eaten and dressed. Maria set the tray on a small table by the window. The shower has excellent water pressure, and there's a robe in the bathroom. Take your time. After she left, I texted Sarah back. I'm fine. Something came up. Can't explain right now. Don't worry. I'll call you soon. Almost immediately, my phone rang. Sarah. I answered, putting her on speaker while I picked at the breakfast tray. Emma, what the hell is going on? You missed your flight. You're on emergency leave. You won't answer my calls. Sarah, I'm fine. I just needed some time off. Family stuff. Your mom is fine. I already checked. Of course she had, because Sarah was a good friend who cared about me, unlike me, who'd gotten her caught up in whatever this was. Sarah, I need you to do something for me. That number you gave me, the guy from the coffee shop? Oh God, did something happen? Was he a creep? Emma, I'm so sorry. I should have vetted him better. No, it's fine, but I need to know everything about how you got that number, every detail. I told you, he gave it to me, said he thought you were cute but was too nervous to ask directly. What did he look like? Tallish? Brown hair? Glasses, maybe? I don't know, Emma. I barely looked at him. I was more focused on getting you back in the dating game. If I sent you a photo, could you identify him? Maybe. It was pretty brief. Why? Just humor me. After I hung up, I showered and dressed in jeans and a sweater from the closet. Both fit perfectly, which was both convenient and deeply unsettling. Maria appeared the moment I emerged from the bedroom, as if she'd been waiting outside. Mr. Moretti is ready for you. She led me through the mansion to a home office that managed to be both luxurious and functional. Alessandro sat behind a massive desk, multiple monitors arrayed before him, talking rapidly in Italian into a phone. He ended the call when I entered. Emma, come in. Sit.
I perched on the edge of a leather chair, too nervous to get comfortable. I've been investigating your friend Sarah, he said without preamble. She's exactly what she appears to be. No connection to anyone in my world. No suspicious contacts or finances. The number she gave you was genuinely wrong. So you believe me now, that this was just an accident? I'm leaning that direction, but I need to verify one more thing. He turned one of his monitors toward me. On screen was security footage from what looked like the Starbucks at O'Hare. This is from last Tuesday. Your friend Sarah is visible in frame at 7:43 a.m. Watch. I leaned forward, seeing Sarah at the counter, then moving to the pickup area. A man approached her, said something. She laughed, responded. He pulled out his phone, showed her something. She pulled out hers. That's when she got the number, I said, right there. Alessandra rewound the footage, zoomed in on the man's face. Do you recognize him? I studied the grainy image. Medium height, brown hair, glasses. Generic. Forgettable. No. Should I? His name is Marcus Chen. He's a corporate investigator, works for a firm that specializes in background checks and surveillance. My stomach dropped. What? Someone hired him to make contact with your friend, to give her a number that was one digit off from mine, to orchestrate this entire situation. But why? That's what I'm trying to determine. He pulled up another image, a man in his 50s, gray hair, expensive suit, standing outside a restaurant. Do you know this man? No. Viktor Kozlov, Russian businessman very interested in my operations. Another image, a younger man, dark hair, cold eyes. This one? No. Dmitry Petrov, Viktor's nephew and second in command. Alessandra cycled through more faces.
I shook my head at each one. I don't know any of these people. I've never seen them before in my life. He leaned back, studying me with those dark, unreadable eyes. I believe you. Relief flooded through me. So I can go? Not yet. Because even though you don't know these men, they might know about you. If they orchestrated this wrong number situation, they did it for a reason. What reason? To create a connection between us, to give them leverage. If they can't get to me directly, they'll use anyone associated with me. But I'm not associated with you. I sent one wrong text. Emma, you spent last night in my home. You're on my property, under my protection. You've been seen with me at the airport. As far as the outside world is concerned, we're very much associated. The implications of that hit me like a physical blow. So, what do we do? We. I like that you said we. He stood, moving to the window overlooking his grounds. I need to make it very clear that you're under my protection, that anyone who touches you answers to me. How do you make that clear? He turned, his gaze intense. By making our association public, visible, undeniable. What does that mean? It means for the next week, you stay close to me. You're seen with me. You become known as someone I've claimed. Claimed? The word made my skin prickle. Protected, he corrected. It's the only way to ensure your safety. And after a week? After a week, when I've identified who's behind this and dealt with them, you go back to your life, with enough money to make up for the inconvenience. Money. As if that's all this was about. How much money? 50,000. My breath caught. That was more than I made in a year. For 1 week of pretending to be your, what, girlfriend? Associate. It's a business arrangement, Emma, nothing more. But the way he looked at me suggested it might become something more if I let him. I don't have a choice, do I? There's always a choice, but some choices are smarter than others. I thought of the men he'd shown me, the cold eyes, the casual danger. 1 week, I agreed. Then I go home and we never see each other again. Deal. He extended his hand. I took it, his grip warm and firm, sending an unexpected jolt through me. Good. Now let's get you properly introduced to my world. That afternoon, Alessandro took me to lunch at an exclusive restaurant I'd never heard of, the kind of place where everyone knew him, where tables magically appeared, where the chef came out personally to greet him. And everyone stared at me. The woman with Alessandro Moretti, the stranger he'd brought into his world. I could feel their curiosity, their assessment, their calculation. Ignore them, Alessandro murmured, his hand at the small of my back as we were led to a private table. Let them look. Over lunch, food so exquisite I barely tasted it through my nervousness, he explained the rules. Stay within my sight at all times. Don't speak to anyone I haven't introduced you to. If anyone asks about our relationship, you say we're seeing where things go. Seeing where things go. Vague enough to mean anything. Exactly. His phone rang. He glanced at it, frowned, then answered in rapid Italian. I watched his expression darken as he listened. When he hung up, his jaw was tight. What's wrong? The investigator who gave Sarah your wrong number, Marcus Chen, he was found dead this morning. Dead? How? Officially, a car accident. Unofficially, he met my eyes. Someone wanted to make sure he couldn't talk about who hired him. But it means whoever orchestrated this is covering their tracks. It means they're serious. And it means you're staying with me until I figure out who's behind this and what they want. The rest of the week passed in a blur. Alessandro took me everywhere. Restaurants, meetings, a charity gala where I met more powerful people than I'd ever imagined existed. And through it all, I felt eyes on me, watching, assessing, wondering who Emma Carter was and why Alessandra Moretti had claimed her. But something else was happening too. The pretense was starting to feel less like pretense. The way Alessandro's hand would find mine in crowds. The way he'd lean close to whisper translations of Italian conversations. The way his eyes would track me across rooms. And the way my pulse would race when he was near. On the 7th day, Alessandro's investigators finally identified who orchestrated the wrong number situation, a rival organization trying to create leverage, just as he had suspected.
"It's handled," he told me that evening as we sat in his study. "You're safe now. You can go home tomorrow." Tomorrow. Back to my apartment, my job, my normal life. I should have been relieved. Instead, I felt something else entirely. What if I don't want to go home yet? The words escaped before I could stop them. Alessandro's dark eyes held mine. "What are you saying, Emma?" "I'm saying this week has been unexpected. You've been unexpected. I threatened you, held you captive. You protected me, kept me safe when I didn't even know I was in danger." He stood, moving to where I sat, close enough that I could feel the heat radiating from him. "Emma, if you stay, it won't be as an arrangement. It won't be pretend." "I know." His hand cupped my face, thumb brushing my cheek. One wrong text changed both our lives. Maybe it wasn't wrong. Maybe it was exactly right. When he kissed me, it felt like the most natural thing in the world. Like everything, the wrong number, the fear, the week of pretending, had been leading to this moment. To something real.